Alright, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing a team tier list for the teams remaining in the divisional rounds, these 8 teams down here. This is going to be a shorter one. Originally I wanted to do quarterbacks, the last 8 quarterbacks in, but I didn't want to end the team, so I'd rather make the team one. So this should be a shorter one. I'm going to rank the teams, and they'll be in order in each tier as well, because there's only 8 of them. So I'm going to start with the Chiefs. Obviously, they're going to be my S tier. They're going to be my #1 team. They're the best coach and the best quarterback in the playoffs. There's really no arguing this one. I think they have the highest odds to win the Super Bowl right now. I think they overtook the Bills, which they've earned it. They're the 1 seed in the AFC, and I would have them as the best team. The 49ers, I wouldn't have them as the second best team, but they are an S tier team. They've been the second best team in the NFC. All season when Jalen Hurts does not play for the Eagles. They're on an 11-game win streak. They're the #1 statistical defense. The only thing, and I know Brock Purdy played well. Who did they just beat? Seahawks. I know Brock Purdy played decent in that. He was missing, he misses throws. He's not a top-tier quarterback. There was just easy throws he missed in the first half that just Seahawks. It was mainly due to luck. They just couldn't take advantage of it. The ball just didn't bounce their way. But they are such a good team everywhere else. Some of them in S tier. Jags, they'll be my, I think, A tier. Actually, no, I'll do B tier. B tier's the lowest I'll put them. And I do think the Jags are one of the worser teams in the divisional round. Obviously, they're the 4 seed. That's the second lowest seed in the tournament. They were down 27 to the Jags. I know 27 under the Chargers. I know they came back. I know Lawrence pulled them back in, all that. He still threw 4 interceptions in a quarter and a half. They were just luckily playing the Chargers. If you were playing anybody else, even like the Ravens, they would have lost that game. The Dolphins, I think, win that game up 27. It's hard to lose a 27-0 game. You got to do some, you can't just play perfect. You need the other team to mess up. But, Jags, they're a good team. This is the divisional round, so I'm not saying they're, one of the worst teams in the NFL. This is just the final 8 teams. So they're a top 8 team in the NFL. But I'll have them at B. The Bills, I think, would beat the Niners if they play today. Josh Allen kind of just has, he can just play a perfect game on any given Sunday or Saturday, because I think they're playing Saturday. Actually, I don't know the AFC schedule for the Saturday. But regardless, I would have them as the second team in the NFL. I think if they were in the NFC, they would win the NFC, and then it'll come down to the Chiefs, Bills. But they didn't play well against the Dolphins. If Tua was playing that game, they probably lose that game. Josh Allen did not play well. They had that fumble for 6. He threw at least 2 interceptions that I remember. He was sacked 7 times. But they can push the ball down the field, which is dangerous. They can score on any given play. Josh Allen can get you, first downs that maybe other quarterbacks can't on a 3rd and medium, 3rd and long with his feet, or it's just extending plays. I think Josh Allen's the second best quarterback in the league. So I'm gonna Buffalo S tier, or second team. The Bengals, I'll put them also S tier. There's a lot of S tier teams. This is the divisional round. I don't know. I see them as the 3rd best team. I see them where they got seeded, the 3rd best team in the AFC. I think they obviously can beat the Bills. They play the Bills I would assume they play Sunday. I actually think they would make them be the Sunday game and the Chiefs Saturday. So I'm going to guess they play the Bills on Sunday. I don't think they're favored for that. I actually highly doubt they're favored for that. I don't know the spread, but they can beat them. You have Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins. Who's their running back? Why can't I think of the running back? Hold on. Joe Mixon. It's Joe Mixon. Alright, sorry, Joe, but they have a stacked offense. Their defense is playing pretty good. But I don't know. I'm not a full believer. I think it's Zach Taylor. I don't think Zach Taylor's as good a coach as any of these 3, which could limit them. But I don't know. I'm excited for that game. I think that game, I would assume everybody would think that's the game of the week. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most in the AFC, at least. Cowboys, I'll put them in A tier. what are they? They're this 5 seed, and unfortunately for them, they had the Eagles in their division, so they could have gotten a higher seed if they just had an easier division, but they did. I know they looked great. I know Dak had, was it 5 touchdowns, whatever it was. They played the Bucks, who I would say is the worst team in the playoffs. The Bucks were 8-9. You're only under 500 team. I don't think the Bucks would have beaten anybody in the playoffs. I think they would have lost to Skylar Thompson and the Dolphins, and I think they would have lost to Huntley and the Ravens. But nonetheless, Cowboys went out and did their thing. They executed. They played almost perfect ball, except for Brett Maher, their kicker, missing 4 extra points, which is unheard of. I'm assuming that was just a little glitch in the script, the NFL script, or it was scripted in, and just for him to miss 4 extra points consecutively, because that's insane. I've never seen that. But they're not on the same tier as any of these 4 teams that they would lose to any of them. I think they're 4-point underdogs last time I checked at the 49ers on the road, which isn't bad. They could definitely win that game. And if Brock Purdy doesn't show up, I would pick Dallas to win that. The Giants, I will put them at B tier ahead of the Jags. This is another team. I think they got really lucky with their seeding, where they got to play the Vikings, who I think are the worst defense in the league. They're one of the worst. Like, I mean, you can score. Anybody could drop 30 on the Vikings, and put up 400 yards of offense. I think the Vikings would have beaten Tampa, but besides that, I think they would have lost. I think they also would have lost the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Seahawks. So it's a little inflated from that. But the Giants are a good team. They deserve to be in the divisional round. I think they're a top 4 team in the NFC, obviously. Brian Dable's a great coach as of now. Daniel Jones, I know he just had the best game of his career, but I'm not going to just let that call him like some top 5 quarterback. It's still Daniel Jones. They don't have the most talented roster, which is this whole thing with Brian Dable winning Coach of the Year, because he's carried this roster to the playoffs. The roster's not very good. They're not a great team. And I don't think they beat any of these teams above them. So I'm going to have them at B. I'll have them as ahead of the Jags. I think if they played, they would beat the Jags. They certainly wouldn't give up a 27-point lead, though. And the Eagles, I'll put them here, I guess, ahead of the Bengals. It's just been a couple of weeks since we've seen them healthy and playing together. It's been about a month. Hurts did play the last game, but they had a very vanilla play calling. Like, they didn't really try to blow them out. They just tried to get in there, win the game, and get out, get the 1 seed. Hurts, I believe I saw it yesterday or 2 days ago. He's officially off the injury report, so apparently he's got no injury now. I guess he feels great 100%. Lane Johnson's coming back. I think he was a limited participant, but he's going to be playing. So he hasn't played in about a month. They have 2 weeks rest, 2 weeks to prepare. I'll have them as the 4th team. I think if they play well and look like their normal selves, they would beat the 49ers. They've been the best team in football all season, except for the 2 weeks that Gardner Minshew played. So I'm not just going to throw out the whole season. But it's been a while since we saw them. I will be at the Giants-Eagles game. So like I said in my other video, I'm not going to be able to post much this week because I'm going to be there. But I'm excited for that. I've never been to a playoff game. And then I guess if the Eagles win, I'm also going to get tickets to that championship game. But that's a big if. So hopefully they win that. I'd like to go to that championship game. Never been to an NFC championship. But I don't know. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments about what you agree with, what you don't. Let me know if I want to know if your teams are in the playoffs or not and who you're rooting for. Because I'm interested to see where you guys, your fandoms lie. But anyway, this might be my last video post. I don't know. I won't really be home for this weekend, but I will see you in the next video.